Great. So now I want to talk about the intuition ethic. The intuition ethic is generally seen to be defined by G.E. Moore in Prinkipia Ethica. Now the idea is that what is right or wrong or good or evil is based on some sort of a inner or gut feeling or inner sense. And that inner sense usually has something to do with your prior character development. It's kind of your intuition or gut feeling. So if it feels right, then it probably is. If it feels wrong, then it probably is. Now the criticism of this is, of course, yes, your intuition is pretty reliable, but it's not flawless. Your intuition can make mistakes. For example, self-interest might be confused with ethical insight. So it may feel right to you because you're going to benefit, but that doesn't mean that it's the right thing to do. Furthermore, there's no way to validate it. How do you explain or validate your gut feeling to someone else? You know, you always see those cop movies and they say, well, how do you know he's the bad guy? So, well, it's a hunch. And nobody believes that, nobody buys that, right? Furthermore, if I have a gut feeling that it's a good idea and your friend has a gut feeling that it's a bad idea, how do you resolve those two conflicting ethical dilemmas? One example of the intuition ethic gone wrong, okay, I had a friend who used to work for OSHA, and she did an investigation into a couple of men that worked at a company that had a metal press. And so what this metal press would do was like a big iron wheel, and you'd put your metal in it, in the bottom, and then it would press it out so that the metal would be like a perfect flat sheet. Now when you clean one of these metal presses, what you're supposed to do is you have a supervisor present, you got to turn the machine off, and you take sandpaper and you every single square inch of that metal press until all the rust has gone off, because iron, it rusts. So that's how you actually are supposed to clean it. Well, a couple of these guys decided after hours that they didn't want to do that, so they got a giant piece of sandpaper, and one of the guys turned it on, and the other one, what he was trying to do is lean back, and then as the metal press was turning, it would grind against the sandpaper to clean it off. Well, somehow or another he slipped or something, and his hand got in there, and his buddy managed to turn it off, but not before it flattened his hand, and then he pulled back, and it took the whole thing off, right? And during the investigation, they said, why did you do that? And the guy said, well, it seemed like a good idea at the time. This is an example of intuition ethic failing. On the other hand, had they had a gut feeling that maybe this isn't a good idea, that could have saved somebody's hand and arm. So intuition ethic, it's good, but it is certainly fallible. Next one we're going to talk about is the might equals right ethic.